Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good morning. Thank you, Michael, for the intro as always, and welcome to Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk, Season 4, Episode 25. Coming up today, the Pistons collapsed at Madison Square Garden, giving the Knicks an early 1-0 lead in the series. The Tigers win yet another series, taking down Kansas City 3-1 over the weekend. And WrestleMania 41 has come and gone. We give our thoughts on a great weekend of wrestling. I'm Anthony Schulte, and joining me as always is my man, Ryan Donnelly.
Hope your Monday is going well, and those who do celebrate, I hope you had a restful, blessed, and happy Easter with your friends and or family. Very busy weekend this weekend in the world of sports and sports entertainment. Luckily, we have two shows to recap everything, so let's get started.
Let's have a good one. And right next to me, Mr. Michael Rosenkranz.
Hope everybody's Easter was good. I, unfortunately, couldn't get to spend it with my family. Unfortunately, I was up here calling CMU softball. But it was a great weekend nonetheless. Couple shows to get everybody caught up. We're going to do it either way.
And we're going to have some fun. Let's start off with our 3 stars. Michael.
Alrighty. I'm going to make it simple today for my 3 stars. I'm going to go all teams. 3rd star, Toronto Maple Leafs. Utter demolition of the Ottawa Senators yesterday, 6-2. And I made jokes about this with some people yesterday back home. The Ottawa Senators, who would absolutely decimate the Detroit Red Wings should we have got into the playoffs. Let's not get words twisted, folks. Yeah, the Maple Leafs, 6 different goal scorers. Mitch Marner, William Nylander, John Tavares, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Matthew Nyes, and Morgan Riley. So, huge offensive surge for the Leafs. My 2nd star, you talk about offensive surge, how about the Cincinnati Reds? 24 runs on 25 hits, 24-2. That's a football score. That's a football score. Insane stuff. Noelvi Marte, have a day, man. 5 for 7.
Goodness.
7 RBIs.
Jeez.
My man could not be stopped. The Reds could not be stopped as they just utterly destroy the Baltimore Orioles. They sit at 11-11 on the season so far. 1st star, CMU softball. Final broadcast as a student happened yesterday. On Easter Sunday, Bowling Green had a 4-0 lead over Central Michigan. It's been that way since had been that way since at least the top of the 3rd. That went all the way through the top of the 5th. And in the bottom of the 5th, CMU's bats woke up and they just wouldn't stop rallying. They sent 11 hitters to the plate in the bottom of the 5th and plated 6 runs. And that was the spark that we needed to complete the comeback and secure the sweep over Bowling Green with a final of 6-4. CMU remains in 2nd place in the MAC standings. They host 1st place Ohio this upcoming weekend. I will be in attendance for those games. That'll be a very important series. Those are my 3 stars.
Ryan.
All right. My 3rd star, I'm going to just go with my forever star, Malik Beasley. On Saturday in Game 1 against the New York Knicks, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and 2 steals on 50% three-point percentage and 43% field goal percentage. Solid stuff from Malik Beasley. We'll talk about the veterans' impact on Game 1 later on in the show for the Pistons in their first playoff game in 6 years. My 2nd star, I'm going with Kerry Carpenter. Yesterday, against the Kansas City Royals in 4 at-bats, he went 3 for 4, 1 RBI. Just solid, consistent stuff from Kerry Carpenter. He's looked like our best hitter so far this season. And my 1st star, I'm just going to go with Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic. Yesterday, against the Boston Celtics in Game 1, 36 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, a plus-minus of -4. Double-double for Paolo Banchero. Unfortunately, the Magic, they lost by 17 points in Game 1 to the Boston Celtics. Not ideal if you're the Orlando Magic, but good to know that Paolo is back for the playoffs, and those are my 3 stars. Anthony.
All right. Let's hit my 3 stars real quickly. I kind of switched up a few of my stars. My third star, I'm going to go with the GOAT. I'm going to go with Mr. 17. John Cena is my third star.
Not hit yet.
It's hit for me. I could say that. It's hit for me.
The GOAT.
Kind of going through things this morning, kind of thinking about them. It's hit for me. John Cena is the top champion in WWE right now. And apparently tonight on Raw, he is going to ruin wrestling. So it should be a fun watch after the Detroit basketball Pistons conclude their festivities in New York. So should be a good one over there tonight on Raw. John Cena, my third star, winning number 17, if you don't already know, over the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. We'll talk more about WrestleMania later on in the program. My second star, I'm going with Tim Hardaway Jr., 19 points on 7 of 13 shooting. Had a couple really good fast break plays, fast break dunks, and one of the bright spots of this Pistons team before we collapsed like paper in the wind, like a house of cards in a tornado. We collapsed. But Tim Hardaway Jr., one of the bright spots of that evening, and the other bright spot, probably the brightest spot in blue and red over in New York, Tobias Harris. Off 8 of 13 shooting and 4 of 5 from 3. Give him 25 big ones with 6 rebounds and 2 blocks. Great game from Tobias. That's why we signed him. He knows how to play in these games. He knows how to play in a playoff atmosphere. And it really just shows how toxic Philadelphia is and how bad of a just culture they have right now, because Tobias Harris couldn't buy a bucket in the playoffs last year. This year, he bought 25 points in the first game. Hopefully he can replicate that performance tonight as the Pistons head into Madison Square Garden for revenge game number 2. All right, speaking of the Pistons, let's get into the Detroit basketball Pistons, shall we?
Why not?
They're kind of the top talking point in town right now, being in the playoffs. Detroit's humming right now when it comes to Detroit basketball. You've got signs downtown reading Detroit basketball. You've got people wearing Pistons gear all over the place. It just seems like all of a sudden, after 5 years of not existing, everybody just happens to have a Pistons hoodie. What a shocker. Everyone happens to have a Pistons sweat or a Pistons t-shirt. Listen, people, don't wear your Pistons stuff if you weren't last season. Seriously, it's so annoying. And I knew this was going to happen too. And we better not turn into the Lions with all these fake fans. I don't want to see any of it. However, the Pistons did lose game 1. And the Pistons gave up a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You were up by 8 points with about 7 minutes left to go. And you gave up a 21-0 run. Overall, 33 to, I think, 13 run. It's on the screen right now. Let me pull up my graphics like an actual professional here. This show stinks.
Yeah, because the final was 123 to 113.
Yep. 33 to 11 run.
33 to 11.
33 to 11 run for New York to just put a button on it, in the words of the great Chris Webber. Put a button on it. This is what's going to happen when you're a playoff team, or when you're an inexperienced playoff team. You go into this matchup, not a single guy on this team other than Tobias, Beasley, Hardaway, and Schroeder, who played in this game, have ever played in a playoff game. And your main players, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, even Isaiah Stewart, you could say, no playoff experience. And you kind of saw that with Duren. You kind of saw that with Cade even. You know, it's a different ballgame. MSG was rocking that night. That place was insane. They've never played in an environment like that.
Nope.
And, you know, you expect this from New York. And now the Pistons have a great opportunity tonight for a revenge game. You had them where you wanted them. You have a revenge game tonight to kind of prove to yourself and the world that they belong here. It's not a series until a road team wins a playoff game. It ain't a series until the road team wins. And the Pistons have a chance tonight to do so. And then you're back on home court later this week. You know, a few days off in between these games here. We don't play again until Thursday. So stay tuned Wednesday. We will have a Pistons preview for Game 3 on Wednesday. But, yeah, it's a great opportunity tonight for the Detroit Pistons to get their get back, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to this with a friend of mine, friend of the program, Joe, Derek's roommate.
Joe Derek's roommate.
Joe Derek's roommate, yeah. We were talking about this last night, but he said the Pistons looked pretty bad, and I just told him that's what you get when you have 70%
Did he watch the
of
first 3 quarters?
He's a Knicks fan, so
Oh,
probably.
Okay.
But I told him that's what happens when 70% of your rosters never played in the playoffs before. Yeah. So I was not surprised with the result yesterday. I think the Pistons did want to play the Knicks coming into the final weeks of the regular season, but one of the big disadvantages for the Pistons, especially because they haven't played in the playoffs in 6 years, and most of them has never played in the playoffs before, is MSG. It's so hard to play in MSG for the playoffs, so that was one of their biggest struggles going in to Saturday. But the younger guys didn't do too bad. Asar points, 10 points, and 6 rebounds in 23 minutes. Cade had a double-double, 21, 12, and 6. So
shot a tour date, but...
Yeah, but there's some solid. I mean, Stewart off the bench, he had 2 pretty big blocks towards the end of the fourth quarter.
You mentioned Stewart. There's some bad news regarding Isaiah Stewart in this series. He just got some imaging done on his leg, and his status for the rest of the series is in question, which upsets me because I want to see him play in these playoffs.
One of the best rim protectors on this team.
He's a vital piece.
But guess who's one of the best backup impact centers in the NBA? B-Ball Paul.
Mr. B-Ball. It doesn't amount to Stewart, though. Without Stewart, the Pistons have an even harder time this series, containing Cat, containing Mitchell Robinson, containing Precious Achiuwa. It's going to be tough without Stu. Stu is our number 1 defensive guy. When Duran's in trouble, you know you could trust on Stewart. I like B-Ball Paul. I could trust B-Ball Paul, but I'd like to trust the best rim protector in the NBA statistically over Mr. B-Ball. So it's a tough loss if he truly can't go. And we kind of saw him throughout that game favoring that leg.
He was hobbling
a little bit. He had to go back to the locker room. But I hate to interrupt you, but that's just a little medical update for the fine folks at home on Isaiah Stewart, otherwise known as Beef Stew.
Yeah, I did see that he was hobbling a lot on Saturday, so thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
I mean, most of these guys, like Ron Holland, Stu, Cade, Sar, Duran, they've never played in the playoffs before. Right. It was the veterans who kept us in the game. Like you mentioned in Stars, Tobias Harris. He had 25 and 6 in 40 minutes of action. Malik Beasley, he had 20 points. I think he had 6 or 7 threes throughout the game. I know that because I put money on him, and my parlay didn't hit. Because
you picked the Knicks money line.
I did. I wanted money. I'm broke. I mean,
for what it's worth, I went with the Pistons money line.
I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr., 19-2-1. He looked on fuego at times. Dennis Schroeder 8-3, and not terrible.
It's Schroeder,
but it's Dennis Schroeder. He's only averaged 11 since he's came to Detroit.
You can't ask for much more than about 7+ points and about 3+ assists from him on a nightly basis.
Yeah, but we needed a playmaker to come off the bench, and he's done a good job.
He has. He's been a solid veteran.
I mean, I think now as the series goes on, you're going to see the Pistons steal a couple games. Now that we've played in MSG before, we know what to do now. So I would expect the Pistons win tonight in MSG, especially now that we have we've gained a lot of experience. But I feel like we're gonna come back. If we don't win tonight, we will for sure maybe steal both games next weekend when we play in Detroit on Thursday and Sunday.
And that's that's not even a hot take, even because look at how the Pistons played through 3.5 quarters. Mm-hmm. You're hanging in there. You're up by 8. You're winning for most of the end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And then the collapse happens. And that's going to happen. You don't know how to hold the lead in the playoffs. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different animal. But they hung in there. You were winning until about 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Learn how to hang on, get over those hiccups, get over those bumps, and you're going to win some ball games here, especially with the crowd on your side.
Exactly. LCA has proved themselves for both the Wings and the Pistons that They're a good crowd. Detroit is starting to turn, and the renaissance of Detroit sports is here. This is the golden age of Detroit sports, and I think the fans have proved themselves that Detroit is a sports city. So now that the Tigers are doing good, I mean, they haven't. We'll talk about them in a second. Now that the Tigers are starting to become good again, the Lions obviously kicking ass, and the Pistons are back in the playoffs, which they've always had a good crowd when the Pistons are good. So I feel like the crowd is going to be on our side. LCA, and I've been to a lot of LCA games, either as an employee of the building or as a fan of the teams. That place knows how to get loud. So.
You need to put an asterisk, though, by that Detroit is a sports city.
What do you mean?
There needs to be an asterisk.
Why?
Because the teams have to be good. For the fans to show up, the teams have to be good. That's just the truth. Look at Pistons. Look at Lions. Look at Tigers. Look at the Tigers last year. Look at the games before they went on that incredible 0.2% run. Nobody was there.
Nobody.
And then obviously the place filled up no matter what towards the end of the season. Look at the Pistons games last year. You saw tumbleweeds in the stands.
They still had the 15th best attendance in the NBA.
They did. I will give them credit for that. There
wasn't a ghost town in LCA, and I can defend the Pistons last year.
I feel like a lot of the attendance though was either sold tickets that didn't get resold, or everybody was in the clubs during the games. Because it did not look, for a lot of those games, it did not look like the 15th best attended team.
Well, I mean, that's what comes with it when you're the worst team and one of the historically worst teams in NBA history. But you got the Knicks tonight, again, MSG. Stewart most likely going to be out tonight, which is going to be very unfortunate. But, yeah, let's kick some more butt.
Yeah.
I think there's a big opportunity for the Pistons this week, but you got to clean up lots of things. 21 turnovers in a game is not going to win you games, especially when you get nearly 10 of them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You got to clean that up, and I think the pressure also revolves a little bit more on Cade because, yes, he had a double-double, but he was still a little quiet in the first half, in the first three quarters.
And he still didn't shoot the ball well. He still had 6 turnovers as well.
Yeah.
So a little bit of an adjustment period here for Cade. He's not used to this.
It is, and watching the Knicks double-team Cade, he gets frazzled in double teams, and part of that is because the Pistons, I did not see too many of them get up the floor and help them beat the trap and help Cade beat the trap. So that's the thing you can work on, finding ways to beat the trap. And the good thing about all this, the silver lining in all of this, it's game 1 of the playoffs.
Yes.
This is what we would dub maybe an overreaction Monday.
Yes.
And the beauty of the playoffs is you have a max of 7 games. There's lots of room for improvement. Now again, it's going to be tough tonight because you got to go in the Mecca again and try and get your revenge after that fourth quarter collapse. If you can keep that up with the 3 quarters that you played on Saturday, you got to replicate that here today.
It's all about how you respond. It's not about what happens in game 1. It's about how you respond. And I wouldn't even call for a win. I don't want to see another collapse like we saw. I want to see improvements all around. If we lose the game, we lose the game. Look, it's a 7-game series for a reason, not a 2-game series. However, I don't want to see another collapse. I don't want to have a 7, 8, 9, 10-point lead with 5, 6, 7 minutes left to go, and we lose by double digits. I don't want to see that again. I want to see improvement. I want to see this team get more comfortable, kind of ease into the series. The Knicks last season when they got eliminated by the Pacers, they won the first game, lost the second game, won the third game, lost the fourth game. Just because you lose game 1 or hell even game 2 doesn't mean you're out of it, especially when you have your home games. You just need to steal either game 5 or game 7. Or game 5 or game 7. That would be in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Toughest thing is just being able to defend all these Knicks players. Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby off the bench, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, they just have so much talent. Mikal Bridges.
Deuce McBride.
Exactly.
Precious Achiuwa.
Mitchell
Robinson. They got a solid group over there.
They just have so many good players
Can't
over there in New York.
Tyler Kolek.
Oh, yes, Tyler Kolek.
Yes.
Yes.
Tyler Kolek?
Don't know who.
Rookie.
Doesn't ring a bell.
No? What about Pacome Dadier?
That also doesn't ring a bell.
That sounds like somebody who's on the G League team for the Knicks.
No, he's on the main roster. Look. Pacome Dadier. Pacomedadiet.
I am being fact-checked
There he is.
at
See, he
7:42 in the morning. Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
just
4 points, 4 rebounds off the bench.
He does average 1 and 1, yes.
4 points, 4 rebounds off the bench. So, and the Knicks are a really good rebounding team, too. Got to stay out of foul trouble. Stu injury is not good. I'm very worried about Beef Stew because you don't want any injuries going forward. How do you respond tonight? Let's try and steal one in the Mecca.
Yes. All right, so the Pistons play tonight 7:30 on TNT. I'm pretty sure. I'm quite sure.
Yes, you are correct.
Back-to-back tint games and then ESPN on
We gonna get
Sunday.
Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller tonight?
Oh.
Hang on a minute.
Hang
on a minute. We gonna get
Hold on, I kind of want them on Thursday, to be honest.
back
So that
in
way they're
Detroit.
playing at a home crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't care.
But you know who I don't want?
Who?
Spayro Day-Days. I want him off of my television set. I want either Brian Anderson or Kevin Harlan.
I want Brian Anderson.
Brian Anderson
could
and
be-
Stan Van Gundy.
It could be
Ooh,
them.
Stan Van the man commentating on a Pistons playoff game.
Man.
Ooh. Actually, I wanted to bring this up right before we get into Tigers here. When's the last time the Red Wings made the playoffs?
2016.
2016.
So, since the Red Wings last made the playoffs, the Pistons have made the playoffs 3 times.
Yeah,
2016, 2019, 2025.
that's comical. Red
That
Wings.
is
Pistons.
hilarious.
I know Pistons fans and the Detroit Pistons, it's hard to carry an entire arena on your back as the better team over the last 9 years, but I'm
5-second
playing around.
moment of silence for the Detroit Red Wings.
All right. That's 5 seconds.
Alrighty then.
Red Wings fans loved clowning on the Pistons last year.
They sure did.
Friends.
How the turntables.
How the turntables.
How the turntables.
All right. So Pistons 7:30, Knicks, Tint and FanDuel Sports Network. And whether you want to listen to, if it's Sparrow Day-Days, I'm watching George. I don't care. I
Let
don't
me
like
see if
Sparrow
I can find a
Days.
commentator schedule.
Yeah,
that
well,
we
you
can
do
move
that.
on.
We'll get into the Detroit baseball Tigers. Because over the weekend, they played the Kansas City Royals in a 4-game series and took it 3-1. Yesterday's game was not ideal.
No.
Scoob Mountain Day, and we lost. That's never a good thing. But you still took the series in 3 pretty good games leading up to that 4th game. Good offense all around in those first 2 games, I'd say. Wouldn't you guys agree?
yeah, definitely.
Torque. This season, he's been playing at an MVP level. I'm sorry. So far, through 22 games, MVP level.
Dude just looks like a completely different guy.
He does. He is playing at the level of the top power hitters in the game right now. 7 home runs. I think it's like mid-20s RBIs. Good batting average in the 300s. I mean, he's raking right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Spencer Torkelson's looked very good. Riley Green actually got out of a slump for a game.
Yes, he did.
He
For
did.
one
He
game,
did.
he went, 3 for 5?
No, for 2 games.
2.
2 games. He had those first 2 games of the series.
Oh. Yeah, Riley Green got out of a slump for a little bit, and then he's back to his normal form. Yeah, solid stuff this weekend. Obviously, yesterday was very unfortunate. Luckily, we did take the series, which was good. We won 3-1. But it comes with that. I really, and I said this on Monday's show, I want a closeout series. That's my one thing that's kind of been bugging me this entire year or season so far, because you win 2 or 3 games, and then you got that last game, and you just blow it. Anthony has an exciting face.
There's
does.
there's a chance we have Iron Eagle tonight too.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll definitely take Iron Eagle.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it still too.
All right.
Along with you.
Well,
Continue.
while
Sorry.
you
My
guys
bad.
are talking Pistons broadcasters, I'll talk Tigers real quick. Scooble yesterday. I thought about this yesterday, but Scooble had a short outing: 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and a walk. We said yesterday that this was a slump for Skubal, and I thought about this. For most pitchers, they can't even do this. Like, they can't even get 4 strikeouts. They can't even give up 2 earned runs. They'll give up 5 earned runs. A starter normally gives up 5 earned runs. So we're blessed to have a guy like Skubal in Detroit because, sure, this might have not been the best game for Skubal, for him personally. It's still a solid outing for any average starting pitcher in this league. Obviously, 7 hits is an ideal for Skubal. 4 strikeouts also is an ideal for Skubal. All 7 hits, by the way, were all singles. But yesterday, obviously, the Easter Sunday matinee, there was a little comeback. We were down 2-0, and then we were up 3-2. Thanks to Zach McKinstry.
CME product.
CME product, fire up. And then we blew it in extras. It comes with the game. It's still pretty early in the season, so I'll give them a pass for now. But the other 3 games, they looked flawless. Andy Ibanez on Friday, he got his 2nd home run of the year. Spencer Torkelson, he has been raking. Jackson Jobe, who probably has played the best game of his career so far this season. Sure, he might not have the best strikeout rate, but his command has looked a lot better. He's still getting balls in the outfield when it comes to outs. I think Jobe's going to get better as time goes on, so I would not be worried about Jackson Jobe. Keith looked fine throughout the season, or throughout the series, but lots of stuff to clean up. But at least you looked stout going into the San Diego Padres series. Probably the 2nd hardest series you have to play in the beginning, in the first month of the season. The Padres, taking a look at how they have been doing, they actually lost to the Astros 2-3 in series wise. They did win yesterday, however, against the Astros with a score of 3-2. Taking a look at their season record, they're 16-6.
Yeah, they are.
They just re-signed probably their future bat in Jackson Morrell about a couple weeks ago. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're very good. The National League this year is looking incredible. It's going to be very competitive in the NL. The Padres are one of the best teams in the MLB. The resurgence of Tatis has not been talked about. He's looked very nice. Luis Arias, he's looked very solid as well, but Jackson Morrell has been their MVP. So I think if I had a key to the series is contain Jackson Morrell, going for you this series, I believe it's Flaherty, Montero, and Olsen. If Montero didn't get sent back down?
No, he has a second. He's starting tomorrow.
Okay. So it's going to be Flaherty, Montero, and Olsen. My key of the game is contain Jackson Morrell because he has a hot bat. And taking a look at San Diego's
Montero's tonight, excuse me.
Oh, all right. So Montero is going to start tonight. Randy Vasquez is going to be on the mound for the Padres. Tomorrow is going to be Nick Paletta and then Kyle Hart for the Padres. So, again, contain Jackson Morrell. Contain also all those bats, too. They have some hot hands. Yeah.
Michael, real quick.
I also want to touch on the fact that I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. Injuries still plague you. Yeah. Kerry Carpenter exits in the 9th inning.
Yeah, Kerry Carpenter is getting MRIs.
He's getting an MRI for his right hamstring. We are hoping for the absolute best because he is one of the most vital bats in our lineup.
Yeah.
The injury bug has continued to plague the Tigers
especially
for a
in the
long time.
Luckily, it's coming early.
It's coming early, which is good. And the tough thing is, though, you still have players that are out for an extended period of time.
And you're still doing this well.
Yes, you are still doing it well, which is good. And Skubal's trying to give, fans and everybody else a reality check. Yes, we lost. It's never good when you lose, but we took a series 3 out of 4 against a really good team in the Royals. Mm-hmm. You got to win your divisional games. And Tigers took 3 out of 4 against the Royals.
As long as you can win the series.
Yeah. Exactly.
As long as you just win the series. If you win like I said back on Wednesday, if you win every series in a season, you're going to be a top-tier playoff team.
Oh, yeah.
If you win every series in your division, you're winning the division. Mm-hmm. It's just how it is. And if you keep winning series, you're going to take it's baseball. You're going to lose a lot A lot of games you're going to lose. You're not going to win every game. That's impossible. Well, I mean, I guess it is like very, 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 very slightly possible, but it's still rather impossible to win every single game. You're going to lose some. The only problem with baseball fans is you lose one game and it's like it's the end of the world.
Yep.
Right.
It's not the end of the world. Especially when you take now if you got swept 0-4, then you've got a bit of an issue.
Oh yeah.
But you didn't. You took the series 3-1. It's all good. You move on and you prepare for San Diego.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
taking a look at the standings, Cleveland's creeping up.
They've been on our tail.
Yeah.
It's going to be a close race between Tigers, Guardians, and Royals.
Those are the only 3 teams that can compete for this division.
But
But
I think the only 2 teams that are going to compete all season are the Tigers and Guardians. Or Indians, or whatever you want to call them.
Guardians. They're the Guardians on the show. But it's the division races. It's creeping up. I feel like the Royals kind of, I mean, they played probably the best team in the division this past week, so you can't really make.
They've had a gauntlet. They had to go to Cleveland, then New York, then Detroit, all in one road trip.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
fun.
tough.
Yeah, it's not fun.
That's for
tough.
the division standings, but
It is.
I think the really only thing that the only advantage that the Tigers have over the Guardians is the starting rotation. I mean, sure, Cleveland probably has the better bullpen, but let's think about this. You don't really have a good starting rotation. Shane Bieber is out for a period of time.
Again.
Tanner Bybee is your best pitcher. Your bullpen's solid, and Clase looks like crap to start the season. So you have no pitching staff outside of your bullpen. Your offense is still solid. I'll say that. You still got Jose Ramirez. You got Steven Kwan. You still got Bo Naylor. Like, you still have some solid pieces on the batting side, but I mean, your pitching is where it's going to kick your butt. Like, you have no starting rotation.
I'm going to kick your butt. Sorry. That's a flounder.
Oh yeah,
Never-
gotta love it.
Never seen it. Emmanuel Clase, he has not looked. The Tigers broke him in the playoffs, and your bullpen still looks pretty solid. But I feel like the Tigers' advantage. I mean, we still have a solid bullpen. Like, our bullpen's one of the best in baseball, but our starting rotation is also one of the best in baseball. So that's what's going to carry us probably to this division. I'm not really worried about the injuries. Yesterday kind of proves how deep this team is. Hopefully, Carey's going to be okay. Matt Vierling is starting rehab soon, which is going to be good. Parker, I think, also started rehab last week. It's Perez that I'm really worried about when it comes to injuries. Everybody else, I think, will be okay. Yeah, I think injuries won't be that big of a problem going down the stretch. Michael, good job. I don't think injuries will be that big of a problem, especially because, like I said, Parker and Vierling are coming back very soon. Probably end of the month is when my guess is when at least Vierling is going to come back. Parker's probably not going to come back until the end of May. So
He'll be end of May, early June.
Yep. So I think injuries won't be a big of a problem once everybody is back. I hope Carey is okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, the Tigers, they play at 6:40 this evening. Another busy night in sports and sports entertainment with lots going on. Tigers-Padres for your viewing pleasure until the Detroit basketball Pistons take the court. All right, well, coming up after this break, WrestleMania 41 has come and it has gone, and we have all of our reactions. How do we do on our predictions? And all of the fallout from a crazy couple nights in WWE. Landscape has shifted, and it'll be fun to talk about. You're watching Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk. We'll be back right after this. Sports cards, signed jerseys, signed helmets, and more. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles is your one-stop shop for all things the hobby. Make sure to check them out down Mission Street in Mount Pleasant, right past Meyer. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Join Michael Rosenkranz,
Sports take precedence over academics.
I agree, but
Ryan Donnelly,
Corbin Burns, who is their big-ticket J13 item. Scooble is with us. Scooble's our big-ticket
Did
J1.
you just call Tarek Scooble James?
And Anthony Schulte.
I have an issue.
You have.
There is no break. It's a constant grind. It's an unbreakable cycle.
Yeah, it's...
as they navigate through the Detroit sports landscape. Live Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. on 101.1 The Beat in Mount Pleasant and at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Welcome back, Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, and Anthony Schulte here with you on a Monday, the 21st of April. We are approaching the end of our time here.
Four more episodes.
Next
week is the last week.
Yeah,
Wow.
Next week is the last week of shows.
So crazy.
We'll give you guys a few announcements at the end of this program, but WrestleMania, we have to talk about it because a lot has happened, a lot has changed. Like I said, the landscape shifted, and the best way to enjoy Monday Night Raw tonight, and the best way to enjoy WrestleMania.
I wonder what.
There's lots of options.
There's lots of options to really wind down.
You can pick so many, but I don't know. What do you think?
You know what I'm thinking?
What do you think?
Does it involve a beverage of sorts?
It does involve a specific beverage.
Really?
One that someone might enjoy a little too fondly. A nice ice-cold Leinen Kugel.
Chef, take it away.
Nothing sexier than a girl drinking a Leinen Kugel.
Thanks, Shep! Appreciate that one. The WrestleMania Night 1 kicked off with a special match between Jey Uso, yeet, and that Ingeniero Gunther. Jey Uso wins, as everybody and their mother and their big toes predicted. Jey Uso wins the World Heavyweight Championship, his first ever world title. Finally gets a win over Gunther. And what was a pretty decent match. The ending was kind of a callback to when Gunther lost to Ilya Dragunov, his NXT title. His NXT world title, when a sleeper hold got him in like 2 seconds. Kind of shows all the damage that Jey Uso did, making Gunther tap out. Kind of a little poetic justice there after everything Gunther's put Jey Uso through. But Sin City was yeeting. Yeet. But Jey Uso wins.
Well deserved. 15 years on the main roster, got his first his first heavyweight championship,
And he celebrated after.
He celebrated with Jimmy Uso
with a few libations as well.
Oh yes, he was very.
Oh yeah,
he was very.
He was in a happy place,
as we say in the college world. Hammered.
Just watch his press conference, his post-show press conference. Look it up. You'll see what we're talking about here.
Yeah, it was cool to see Jay win his first. Obviously, I've seen him since the face paint with his brother. Seeing him win his first heavyweight championship or world championship was pretty cool, and I'm happy for Jay.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jey Uso wins World Heavyweight Championship. And then with the Clash of Clans advertisement between the New Day and the War Raiders.
I am a proud Clash Royale player.
Oh, it was Clash Royale. Well,
it's Clash of Clans.
The advertisement is Clash of Clans. Ryan's just letting you know that he plays Clash Royale,
okay.
as do I.
It is the superior game.
These are the rules of the duel. If you remember those commercials.
Yeah. Good God.
Sorry.
But the New Day, they beat the War Raiders in what should have been on the Monday Night Raw 3 weeks after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not WrestleMania. Justice for the Street Profits. Jade Cargill versus Naomi in what was an incredible match. Naomi with some new gear and a new Titantron and a new theme song. Jade Cargill, the storm is still coming, and Jade Cargill wins. Yeah. And what I predicted was a Jade Cargill win. Thank you very much.
Her entrance was very corny.
Naomi's?
No, Jade's. I thought it was very corny.
You were just mesmerized by her floating down from the top.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
You thought that was real.
I did thought
she did not go through the screen.
Yes, she did.
No, she
floated down from the thunderclouds and down. I give up.
Wait a minute.
What?
I don't mean to divert here. I'm reading after the match of Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Kerry King of Slayer played Damian Priest to the ring.
Yes,
really
it was awesome. It was awesome.
I need to look this up because I am probably one of the biggest Slayer fans you'll ever meet.
Really?
Along with my dad.
Kerry King is an incredible guitarist.
Oh yeah,
It's Damian Priest's favorite.
He's incredible.
Then you would like on Apple Music, you could look up Damian Priest, "Rise for the Night." Listen to that.
I
It's
will.
great.
He plays guitar in that.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
it is.
Okay,
You
I
could
gotta
really hear
see
his
this.
guitar, though.
I could a little
could,
bit. But Jade Cargill defeats Naomi. The United States Championship, which is probably one of the best matches of night one.
Absolutely.
Jacob Fatu
He's a
versus he is versus L.A. Knight. Yeah. One of L.A. Knight's best matches of his career, if not the best match
That
of his
was
career.
awesome.
Jacob Fatu
Insane.
was incredible as always. And Fatu with his first ever singles gold.
He is going to hold on to that belt for a long time.
Yep. I don't see him relinquishing it probably until
WrestleMania 43.
2 years from now?
No, he's not going to hold it for 2
Yes,
years.
he is.
Okay, that's
Wow.
He is going to hold on to that belt for so long.
Maybe I'd predict 1 year, WrestleMania 42.
43 is when he gets pinned. That's probably going to be. He's going to get the Roman Reigns treatment. I feel.
and then he's going to become a main eventer.
and then he's going to become
Top
a
of the
main
card.
eventer, and then
Yeah.
he's probably going to hold on to the WWE title for forever.
Yeah, probably. They're going to build up Jacob Fatu, but he defeats LA Knight in a United States Championship match. And then we have one of the funniest and best matches of the night. Saving night one was the incredible, the legendary, the GOAT of Lucha Libre, El Grande Americano, versus Rey Fenix after Rey Mysterio sadly could not perform due to an injury he suffered on Friday Night SmackDown. But nonetheless, El Grande Americano gets the win in an absolute thriller. I loved this match. I loved his entrance, truly showing the prestige of El Grande Americano from the Gulf of America, straight from the depths of Mexican lucha libre legendary lore. El Grande Americano. Gracias!
It's Chad Gable.
No, it's not! It's not Chad Gable! If it was Chad Gable, he would have gone unmasked. Instead, it is the lucha libre legend. El Grande Americano. Do not link those two together
will
until
say-
it is proven.
I was very disappointed that they didn't unmask El Grande Americano.
Honestly, I'm not. I love the character. The character works.
They're going to keep the character, and you know what, Ryan? After digging in and doing some lore, it's not Chad Gable.
It is Chad Gable.
Thank you.
It's not Chad Gable.
Listen
man. He's
to
not
his
Chad Gable.
entrance when he was walking out with the. By the way, the mariachi band.
That was so funny.
That was
The
so
mariachi
funny.
band was
That
incredible.
was funny. But he went gracias, and it's Chad Gable.
It's not Chad
I will
Gable.
pull it up.
It is El Grande Americano, and you better respect the lucha libre legend.
It's Chad Gable.
The WWE Women's Championship in the worst match of the entire night, the worst match of all of WrestleMania, in my opinion. This match, the build stunk. The match stunk. I'm tired of Charlotte Flair, and I've only watched her for about 2 months. She's terrible. I'm sorry. I do not like Charlotte Flair. I don't like her ego. I don't like that she let the ego interfere with the match. I think Tiffany Stratton is she's Tiffany Stratton. She gets the win though over Charlotte Flair. I didn't like the match at all. I think that they let their egos get the best of them, especially Charlotte Flair, and it was just a snooze fest. Everybody was just waiting for the main event.
It was a snooze fest.
It was that was really just the tail of the tape there. Everybody was just waiting for the main event to start. That's where people got up. They used the restroom. They got their popcorn refilled. They got another cold one. They got whatever they're drinking over there in the front row. If you know, you know. But Tiffany Stratton defeats Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, snooze fest.
Yep.
Let's keep moving on.
And then we have the best match of the entire weekend. A legendary WrestleMania match going down in history. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk looking my eyes. What do you see? The Cult of Personality. And Seth Rollins, I mean, ladies and gentlemen,
my gosh.
go watch the match. We do not have enough time on this program to go over everything that happened in this match. This match had everything. It had technical wrestling. It had going into the stands and fighting with random objects. It had, being thrown through tables. It had betrayal. It had storytelling. It was beautiful. It was a work of art, if you will. Watch the match if you haven't already. But Seth Rollins defeats Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Paul Heyman turns on CM Punk. Goes to Roman Reigns like, yes, my tribal chief. Go hit him, my tribal chief. He is in perfect position for you, my tribal chief. And then he gives him the tribal punch straight to the loins and turns on Roman Reigns. And Seth Rollins joins Seth Rollins. And what was the biggest shock of the weekend, just an incredible match, just incredible. Go watch it if you haven't already. It was great.
I think for the first time in my wrestling fandom, I met a man that's more excited for WrestleMania than I was, which is sad. Anyways, that was. I was speechless throughout the entire night, both night one and night two. Obviously, Paul Heyman. As I watched him growing up, you can never trust Paul Heyman. He will always turn his back on his clients, and now he turned his back on Roman and CM Punk. Before I talk about that, I want to talk for about 25 minutes of how impactful CM Punk's entrance meant to me. He brought out Living Color again.
Incredible performance.
Which, by the way, I watched back yesterday by myself without me singing, and I cried. Tears. Really? Because if I mentioned this, I think I mentioned this on Wednesday's show. My favorite WrestleMania entrance of all time was CM Punk walking out with Living Color and Paul Heyman WrestleMania 29 versus The Undertaker. Now, this trumps it because CM Punk is main eventing WrestleMania with Paul Heyman and Living Color. And it was way better than the WrestleMania 21 entrance. I watched that entrance about 20 times. Cult of Personality is one of my favorite songs of all time because of Punk and NBA 2K16. But hearing Living Color again, I was very happy to see them again back at WrestleMania, and just now this one has more meaning because he main evented, and because of that, it made me tear up. I was a CM Punk guy growing up as a kid. His attitude, his promos, his wrestling. I watched his OVW matches back in 2005 on YouTube, and I love CM Punk. He means the world to me. He's one of my idols in the wrestling business. I watched him all in AEW when he was in AEW. I shouldn't have, but CM Punk is my favorite wrestler of all time, and
yeah. No, that's a beautiful way to take us to nights two. Mm-hmm. Beautiful way to take us to night two. All right.
Sucks that he got betrayed, though.
Yes, it does. It does suck that he got betrayed. All right, night two. Triple threat women's world championship match. Best match of the night, in my opinion. Io Sky defeating Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley in an absolute thriller. Nobody thought Io would win, and she won. And that was great to see. I'm excited to see what Io's going to do. I'm excited to see what Bianca and Rhea are going to do after this, but an incredible match indeed between those three women.
This made up for the match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair.
It did.
After that snooze fest, night two, they better have brought it for that next triple threat women's match. And they did. Mm-hmm. And I was very, very pleased with that. Huge congrats to Io Sky. I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Me neither.
Wow.
I didn't have that on my bingo card either. That match was probably one of the best women's matches I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, that was great.
That was incredible. Some great technical wrestling, some great aerobic wrestling.
Good spots.
From Bianca and Io. Great spots from everybody. I think they pulled the trigger on the right girl for Io to retain. Nobody really retained outside of Tiffany and Io. But it was great to see Io Sky win again at Mania. She lost her championship at Mania last year to Role Model.
Oh, yes.
Role Model.
Glad she got scrapped, but we'll talk about that later. But, yeah, Io Sky winning was the right move.
Yeah, and then we have the Sin City Street Fight between Drew McIntyre
That match cooked.
and Damian Priest, Mr. Wepa.
Insane.
I wanted Damian to win. I knew Drew would win, but it was still a thriller of a match. Great match indeed between those two.
Lots of people disagree with the storyline between Damian and Drew.
I think they did great with it.
I think with the story they told a really good story. Obviously, Drew lost his title because of Damian at WrestleMania 40 about a year ago, and they just kept it going. They had a great match at Clash at the Castle last year, and now they're back at WrestleMania, biggest stage of them all, and they cooked with the street fight. I love the spot where Damian Priest went with the Undertaker's old school, and he got shoved through 2 tables. And then Drew put a chair on his neck, and he claymored him into the barricade, and worst comes to worst, he got pinned. But great fight. Those were 2 great matches to kick off the night, too.
And then we have one of the greatest moments of the entire evening.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Fatal 4-way Intercontinental Championship, which
yeah.
Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom, give me my Dino Nuggies. Dirty Dom's winning
We
in
didn't
life
have
right
Dino
now.
Nuggies after he won.
I know, that was on me. We should have done that. Dirty Dom is a freaking champion. Who would have thought that Dirty Dom would be a champion? They pulled the trigger at the right time, the only time for him to be a champion, for him to win. Pin Balor, as always. What do we expect, right? What do we expect? The Judgment Day is an absolute disaster right now. Carlito, that spear from the Spanish announce desk into the American announce desk that absolutely destroyed the announce. Oh, my goodness.
Insane.
Incredible spot right there. Carlito's just getting destroyed every single night at this point. He's just a punching bag with an apple. Yeah. But Dirty Dom winning his first ever singles gold.
What a job there by Dominic Mysterio to get it done. The question is, how long will he retain this title? I don't know if it's going to be for too long. This is just going to be, I think, his moment to shine in the spotlight for a little while. You got your Intercontinental title, and I don't know who's going to take it from him next. Probably Sheamus.
Sheamus at Backlash.
It's gonna be pretty short-lived.
Sheamus at Backlash. But, yes, next, the Randy Orton Open Challenge. And say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. London, and Paris, in Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in JoeHendry.
Wow!
That was
awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Joe Hendry at WrestleMania?
Who would have thought? There's not much. We don't have to spend too much more time on this. It was just cool that Joe
was
Hendry
fun. That was a fun match.
was there. Logan Paul and AJ Styles. Logan Paul wins. This means absolutely nothing in the world of anything.
That match was they tried to cook, but nobody was really interested.
No. Everybody was kind of waiting for the main event. But and then we have the women's tag team match where Becky Lynch makes her return.
That was
the man
awesome.
is back.
Awesome!
And then when everybody thought Liv and Raquel was going to win because they're actually a tag team, Lyra already has a belt on her. Becky has probably bigger fish to fry than having an empty title. But now it's Lyra 2 belts. And Becky is... They're probably going to lose it at Backlash, in my opinion. This belt should not stay on those 2 for long. Mm-hmm. I don't know who'll take it. Maybe they're trying to build a tag team division. Maybe Lyra and Becky become a tag team of some sort.
That'd be interesting.
It would be interesting, but I don't really see that happening. I don't know.
Probably.
That was only in that spot because Becky Lynch returned.
Yeah,
I think that's about it. And it was kind of cool to see the dynamic between her and Liv as well, coming off of what happened just about a year ago. There, and then the main event for the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes. Whoa! And John Cena coming out to just blank John Cena text.
John Cena had the greatest WrestleMania entrance.
That was funny.
Oh,
that was great.
That was very fun.
But this match, we have about 3 minutes to talk about this match here. Underwhelming. It was a good match.
Yeah.
It was a good match, and this is the blessing and the curse of having such a good main event to night 2 last year. Is we expected surprise after surprise after this guy interferes, The Rock. And we just didn't get that. We got Travis Scott getting a Crossroads.
That was funny.
That was funny, I guess. But John Cena, number 17, he wins, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. John Cena gets his championship, his 17th championship. What is the point of The Rock being in this story at all? What has proven that John Cena sided with The Rock? Nothing. The Rock should not have been in this match. Why was The Rock at Elimination Chamber but not WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Why wasn't The Rock there? I'm sorry. If you're gonna involve The Rock at the start to John Cena's heel turn, he needs to be there at the apex, at the top. When Cena wins, when Cena sold his soul to The Rock to win, and The Rock isn't even there. The Rock should have been there.
That was disappointing.
It was a good match. Don't get me wrong.
It was good.
It was a good match. Wasn't the best match of the weekend. Wasn't the best match of the night.
It was still solid.
But it's still a good match. It was just underwhelming.
Like for John Cena's last match ever, it was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed, I will say, but I'm very happy that John Cena beat Ric Flair's record and got number 17. Looked like he was happy with the crowd at the end. Maybe he broke character to celebrate, but he's going tonight. We get to find out
how he ruins wrestling.
How is he going to ruin wrestling?
Yeah, I will be tuning in after the conclusion of the Detroit basketball.
I will be watching on Twitter.
Ah, I see.
There you
the
go.
The Pistons have my priority tonight.
It's awesome to see. It's awesome to see John Cena get his 17th, passing Ric Flair all time.
Woo!
Woo! Easily bound to happen. Little underwhelming match. I wish The Rock would have come out after the match, just to show respect to John Cena.
I thought when they were looking at the entrance that The Rock was going to come out.
And now something's going to happen tonight.
The Rock might be there tonight.
He could.
Now, I'm not gonna,
We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, I think
but it's
The Rock
a busy night
tonight.
in sports and sports entertainment. It
is another busy night indeed. All right, well, that's all we have for today's show. Thank you for tuning in to Card Guys, Season 4, Episode 25 on 101.1 The Beat and YouTube. Tune in Wednesday. We have Pistons, we have Tigers, and hey, guess what's on Thursday? The NFL Draft.
That's
yes! True. So we're going to talk some NFL, talk some football for you fine folks out there in the YouTube and radio world. For my good buddies, Ryan Donnelly and Michael Rosenkranz, I'm Anthony Schulte saying, so long, everybody.
Love you, Mom and Dad. It was great to see you over the weekend. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Team on me.
Team on
3. 1, 2, 3.
Team!
Have a great week, everybody.